Morgan, we said it before the Kings-Rockets game the other day. Hey, don't sleep on the Rockets. They're actually
We
better
did.
than you think. Well, they smacked the Kings around in that first game. And now the two teams go head-to-head again on Monday in Houston, and the Kings desperately need to bounce back. I'm interested in the response. We still don't know if De'Aaron Fox is going to go. But again, I'm playing the same game of either way. I want to see a good response from Sacramento. They got punked a little bit. I thought Houston was more physical. They looked more experienced, more together, where the Kings offense was so disjointed.
Oh, disjointed is the perfect way to describe the Kings offense. And I think we mentioned this already in our night chat. Everyone was overthinking. So I think one of the things that I'm really watching for in this Monday game, we can call it bounce back, right? Like bounce back, revenge, redeem yourselves. Sure. But what does that mean? What that means to me for the Sacramento Kings on the offensive end, it's making sure that you are living in the present, that you are staying confident, that you are staying engaged and there for your team. We saw that against the Golden State Warriors. There was even scoring across the roster. And then on the defensive end, you saw everyone really step up their game to a different level. You did not see that against the Houston Rockets.
I was doing some research today on the shooting because the Kings shooting has been really disappointing, specifically from Keegan and Kevin.
Yeah.
Right? Is that weird to just call them by their first name?
Keegan and Kevin. You know what I mean?
Specifically from Keegan Murray and Kevin Huerter. So the Kings offense is generating the second most wide open threes in the league.
Great.
That's awesome. They're shooting 35% on those wide open threes, but it gets worse. So Keegan Murray last year on wide open threes hit a blistering 47% from wide open threes.
Okay. Wait, 47% from wide open?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wide open threes, he shot 47%.
That's what you want to see.
It's 31% on wide open threes to start the season. Kevin Huerter last year, 42.5% on wide open threes last year. He's shooting 20% on wide open threes this year. So they're getting good looks.
Yeah.
Now, I think also for Sacramento, I do want to see a little more diversity with the game. Like without De'Aaron, the mid-range hasn't been there. I want to see Keegan put the ball on the floor. Keep a defense honest. I want you to keep shooting because I believe the shot's going to come around. Both guys shot over 40%.
Yes.
But don't be afraid to attack a little bit.
That's it. And I think what we saw from the Houston Rockets was how they were packing the paint, right?
Yeah.
They did a really good job of just being in that drop coverage.
And the Kings just stood around.
And the Kings stood around and took those wide open threes, even though they were missing them. And I think what's very important, I'm sure Mike Brown is going to be saying this to his guys, is I don't give a shit where they are on the floor. You find them and you go into their body. You know what I mean? You initiate that contact going up to the rim. You
Also,
initiate that contact going into the paint.
The Kings are so big, and a lot of NBA teams are, on spray threes, meaning getting inside the paint, kicking out, get
Movement.
the defense collapsing, moving around, making the defense work a little bit. Sacramento did not do that enough. In fact, I feel like there's very few times in last night's game where that happened at all.
Yeah, it was very stagnant. And like we mentioned, like everyone just seemed like they were overthinking things or the confidence wasn't there. You could see it in their body language. And that need a bounce back game from that perspective, from that end of the floor. Because even without De'Aaron Fox, there's enough good players on this team. They're better than what they showed their last game against Houston.
Morgan, 2-4 versus 3-3. It's one game, but it feels so different.
I know.
I need 3-3.
Same, especially since right now they have the same record as the Houston Rockets, who did not start the season off hot, right? And then they just got their 2 wins, Charlotte, and then they came, and then Sacramento Kings.
And they have to feel really confident right now because now it feels like their chemistry is pretty good. Dylan Brooks is playing some really good basketball. He's playing in control, blowing kisses.
That's the other thing I want to say. Something else I want everyone to watch for. Dylan Brooks. How do they go about him and his game? And what I mean by that is he thrives off of people talking shit with him. He's like, haha, I got you. I'm in your head. So it's not about talking shit with him. It's about making sure that you are shutting him up with your game.
Play physical. He can't be bullying you.
I was going to say being physical and making sure that he has no reason to blow a kiss at your bench. I mean, truly, that is where you need to get with Dylan Brooks. Because if you shut down their energy guy, at least, you can just start there.
Well, I'm fascinated to see what the response is going to be. It better be a good one. This is a good early season test for Sacramento. A little early season adversity without Fox, not playing really good offensive basketball right now. Push the pace too.
Push the
I don't
pace.
want to see slow offense. And again, this is where like sometimes I get on this stuff and it's like, hey, also acknowledge the Rockets defense was pretty good in that game.
It was.
From Dylan Brooks to Jay Tate. Like they play physical. The ball pressure was good. But for Sacramento, you have to push the pace.
Don't let the Rockets dictate the pace of this game. You got to keep playing your game.
Let us know what you want to see in the game. What type of adjustments do you want to see in this game for the Kings? Make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. And also know we'll be live after the game. We're live after every single Kings game.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo.